Right, let's take you to SABC News reporter Canny Maphanga, who's following proceedings at the Commission and joins us live from Pretoria. Canny, a very good afternoon to you. The allegations put forward by Fadiel Adams essentially being put to the test. Talk to us about some of the revelations.
Well, absolutely. Good afternoon to you, Paul, and to the viewers at home. Before we get to some of that evidence, in news just in, we did see that a journalist has laid a charge of intimidation against Stuart Scharnick. That is someone that has been in the public gallery here during Fadiel Adams' testimony before the probe. But we've also heard his name before with respect to the evidence that Lieutenant General Dumsani Khumalo had given about, in the context rather, of Lieutenant General Shadrack Sibiya and who he seems to share alleged close proximity with. And the point of that particular evidence is that you had a high-ranking cop that seemingly enjoyed a close association, allegedly, with someone who is alleged to have some kind of criminal history, or at least a long rap sheet that was explained by the KZN SABC in that media briefing. But before the tea adjournment, or rather during the tea adjournment, let's put it that way, it seems that Scharnick had gone down to the area near the witness box to share a few words with Fadiel Adams. And when he made his way back up to the back of the auditorium here at the Madlanga Justice College, it seems that he took issue with one of the journalists taking a video of him walking up. He then seemingly got into a confrontation with that journalist, and that led into the journalist, that is Herman Molloy of the Sowetan, opening that case of intimidation here at the SABC base in the Madlanga Commission. But just to get a few sentiments, because Jeremy Michaels is still yet to return from his particular meeting on this particular incident that took place here, just to get it from Herman's point of view as to what could have taken place there at the time. He is joining me shortly just to answer that particular question. Herman, there's visuals across all of social media at this point where it seems that Scharnick is having some form of a confrontation with you, and it is alleged that there may have been some threats exchanged there, and you've since opened that case of intimidation against him. Just talk us through what took place there, what exactly was said, and what prompted you to then go open that case after what transpired during the tea adjournment.
Okay, so firstly, it was tea adjournment, and everyone was taking pictures because he had approached Fadiel Adams. And when he came back, he said that, why am I taking video of him without his permission? I'm telling him that, no, this is a venue that we are authorized to take videos. And then he said, even yesterday you took videos of me and posted on social media. And I'm like, yesterday I didn't take any video of you, and can you please show me that video you say I took yesterday? And then he's like, I don't have my phone with me now. And his tone was very threatening, because he was even pointing fingers at me, telling me that if I want to talk like that, I must come outside. So we don't know what would have happened outside, but his tone was very threatening. That's why I decided to open a criminal case.
All right, thank you very much. That was Herman just giving us the basis for which upon he opens that case against Stuart Scharnick. We know that the police have since taken his statement, and that case of intimidation has been laid against this particular individual for the incident that transpired here at the Madlanga Justice College. Now, moving back to Fadiel Adams, with respect to the evidence that he's giving, we know that he's now facing tough questioning about the steps that precede the Section 27 referral affidavit, and at the tail end we're now warming up as to how he compiled that affidavit and how it lands up with IDAC. But why the steps before it are very important is because it was done in haste, and it seems, or at least that's what the evidence points to at this particular stage, that allegedly this may have been well coordinated and planned, because everything about the manner in which he takes steps to this particular classified envelope that he gets under his door is something that raises a significant number of red flags before the Commission, because everything takes place in quite quick succession. He opens cases in the Western Cape. He claims under oath that he had gotten information from a source who is now late, that those dockets had been intercepted because they dealt with high-ranking generals. He then goes to the Gauteng province and he opens a case specifically at the Orlando SABC. And that also raises alarm bells, because if it was about opening a case in a different destination because of the risk of interception, one then wonders why it had to be this specific police station, that is Orlando, and not the nearby station as soon as he landed at OR Tambo International Airport. And there isn't any forthcoming answers about that particular discrepancies. There also seems to be common names and themes that emerge. It seems that witness G, who is the alleged so-called handler of Brian Mokgotsi, seemed to have held the view in his statement that he had informed Fadiel Adams that he must come to the Orlando police station. And that's not information that is taken for granted, because of the fact that Brian Mokgotsi, in evidence, it has shown that he allegedly had some form of MO of trying to conjure up cases against these high-ranking generals. And we do know that the Section 27 referral affidavit manifests into Project Diversion, which is alleged before the probe, or at least evidence suggests that it was allegedly geared towards targeting those high-ranking generals, that is Lieutenant General Dumsani Khumalo, and of course Top Cop General Fani Masemola, and of course even his daughter. So if you look at the timeline, what is being suspected, or what seems to smell fishy about this particular scenario, is that it appears to be something that was geared towards allegedly setting a foundation in order for this matter to then head to the IDAC, which is then we see how it manifests, where it is alleged that it had nothing to do with the original complaint, but rather what would take place is that IDAC would parachute this particular Section 27 referral affidavit, or rather allegedly use it to authorize allegedly highly irregular and alleged unlawful investigations that are geared towards certain high-ranking generals. We've now warmed up towards the Section 27 referral affidavit, how it comes about, and how then he took that complaint, which we described, or rather saw the Commission describe as quite scant, and what he understands to have included in that complaint. In the tail end of the testimony, he's already confirmed that he definitely spoke about the political killings task team, and we do know that the one that was flighted before the Madlanga Commission, there was no mention of the political killings task team. This again feeds to the very narrative about IDAC, about allegedly conjuring up or manufacturing evidence to tailor certain conclusions. And we'll hear when Fadiel Adams returns at 2 p.m. if that was indeed the case with his particular Section 27 referral. It's over to you in studio.
Thank you very much, SABC News reporter Canny Maphanga there, following proceedings at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, bringing us some of the highlights. And of course, the news just in, a journalist having laid a charge of intimidation against businessman Stuart Scharnick, who had alleged links to suspended Deputy National Police Commissioner Shadrack Sibia. That's in terms of the context of how we know him. And of course, the Commission back at the top of the hour.